Hello, welcome back. So what is criminal profiling? Okay, there are lots of movies and TV series at the moment that focus on the detection of crime and the use of criminal profiling techniques. CSI, Criminal Minds, for example, are very interesting series. Very good film that looks at criminal profiling is Silence of the Lambs, of course, with Anthony Hopkins. And if you remember the plot to that film, Clarice Starling, who is a trainee FBI agent working out of Quantico in Virginia, visits Dr. Lecter, the famous psychiatrist, in the hospital. And she visits him initially to find out all about him, his thoughts, feelings, behaviours, and to put together a bit of a profile of Dr. Lecter based on her meeting with him in the asylum. And further on in the film, apparently Dr. Lecter helps Clarice Starling to put together a profile of a serial killer that the FBI were looking for at that time. So there are lots of movies and series on at the moment that depict criminal profiling, offender profiling, and they use those terms interchangeably, and I will most likely use those terms interchangeably through this course as well. I guess basically a good description of what criminal profiling is could be a construction of a psychological, a behavioural and a demographic profile of the type of person likely to have committed some kind of serious crime. So the psychological part of the profile is to do with that person's mental health and well-being, the way that they think, that they plan, the way that they carry out what it is they do. The behavioural part of it is, of course, the crime that they commit and how they planned that and how they executed that and what they did after the crime had been committed. Okay. The demographic profile is where psychologists gather all the evidence together from the crime scene and then they begin to work out where this person is likely to be based. Where is their home base? Did they travel long distances to commit these crimes, or are they very local? Okay. It's based on research into a whole range of crime scene and non-crime scene evidence. So the science of psychology is used at the forefront in criminal profiling. Lots of evidence is gathered and the psychologist looks through that evidence and applies the mind of a psychologist to help the police with a profile of the person who's likely to have committed that kind of crime. Criminal profiling is very helpful to the police and law enforcement agencies, of course, because it helps them to narrow down the field of investigation. It narrows down the number of people and a geographical area as to where the police could be searching for the culprit who has committed this crime or these series of crimes. Criminal profiling by its very nature tends to be applied only to serious crimes, so murders, serial killings, serial rapists, for example. And the police also use criminal profiling sometimes in very serious organised crime, gang membership and serious financial crime, for example. Okay, so criminal profiling, in a nutshell, the psychologist, forensic expert helps the police to find out what kind of a person would have committed this crime or this set of crimes, and what the police can then do to help find this person and bring them to justice. Okay, it's worth noting that the police have a whole range of training, expertise and experience gathered over many years. So it's not that the psychologist suddenly comes in and shows them what they need to do to catch this killer. The police already have lots and lots of experience and expertise. But the psychologist perhaps comes in and adds a psychological dimension to that investigation, which can be very helpful to the police. Okay? Thank you very much. Speak to you shortly.